Alright fellas, here we are back in Pokemon Masters for the 2024 Pokemon Masters EX Awards. Of course, we did this last year as well. It was the first year we had done it. This is now the second year, and we have used a little bit more community feedback. Well, granted, there wasn't any for last time, but we used community feedback this time to make up a few more responses and I guess maybe streamline the process a little bit more. This time we got 346 responses on the poll. Thank you to all the people who did vote. It was very much appreciated, and of course your input always matters for these things. This really, gives us what people want to see, I guess, in terms of who wins what awards. And I guess this is a good time to transition into the awards. There's not much for the intro. We're just going to kind of get right into it, I suppose. So, our first award here will be the Golden Signusuit Red Award for the best striker. I did keep it the same as last year. I kept most of the awards the same as what they were last year, but I did add a few more, and we will go into those as they come along. So, of course, the Golden Striker Award goes for the most valuable striker here. This is the character that not necessarily does the most damage, but it provides a lot of potential utility, or just overall maybe helps the most characters. Doesn't have to be damage, but can be focused on other things as well. And going into our third place option with ourselves, how many votes? We got ourselves for Gladion. He got 11.6% of the votes, 40 votes in total. Signusuit Gladion, right? So Signusuit Gladion, of course, is an amazing fairy-type striker. He is easily the best fairy-type striker in the game, and pretty much carried fairy strikes on release, or fairy damage on the release for the most part. Alongside great partners like Signusuit Wally and Signusuit Mina, he is excelled extremely well. Penny also being released helped him immensely, and even a few fairy release this year, fairy release buffs, like Variety Calum were able to even help him as well, and he's just overall became really, really good, and that is why he wins the third place bronze Signusuit Red trophy there. So congratulations, Signusuit Gladion. And again, at second place is Neo Champion Bianca and Virizion with 13% of the votes, 45 total votes. This character, of course, deserves the award because of her amazing prowess in basically every game mode. She's able to do solid damage herself with her good damaging moves in Sacred Sword, as well as amazing utility, being able to debuff a lot of stats, mostly defense and offensive stats, as well as, of course, apply fighting rebuff and the Unova Circle as well, providing support to allies despite being meant to be a damage dealer. She's also got the great achievement of being able to solo all 14 legendary arenas and being the fastest character to do it, which is why, of course, she has earned the second place trophy. Very, very, very good, Bianca. Congratulations. And again, it makes sense why she's able to get this second place trophy because of all the great utility she provides, especially being able to help out a lot of fighting types with her fighting rebuff, being able to potentially substitute Fighting Zone or work even better alongside Fighting Zone, and also being a great character for the damage challenge due to her dodge antics, as well as defensive debuffing for those physically offensive damage dealers. So great placement in all game modes, and overall a very good rounded character with good mix of damage and utility. And of course, to no one's surprise, winning the first place strike award with 53.5% of the votes, 185 total votes, was Arcsuit Cynthia and Garchomp. I did opt to include the Arcsuit Sync pairs with whatever their EX role was for their role, since there were only 4 of them, and even if I had opted to exclude the Arcsuit Sync pairs, they would have simply, the competition would have been dominated by the next Master Fair. And if you want to know who would have won if it would not have been Arcsuit Cynthia here, of course, Bianca would have taken the first place spot, Gladion would have taken the second place spot, and the fourth place winner was Neo Champion Silver and Tyranitar. So if you are curious for that, just there you go, letting you know. But of course, Arcsuit Cynthia, since she was included in the poll, she does win. She easily wins with her amazing damage output, great utility, being able to set Sand and Ground Zone, be able to debuff defensive stats, and just overall shred through the competition. Also having a little bit of healing herself because of a few passes in her grid. It even gives her great utility just to be able to stay alive. She's able to enhance allies extremely well. She's able to do amazing damage. That Ground Zone plus double ground rebuff combination is deadly. On top of the Mega Garchomp buff, the physical moves next buff she can do to herself, and all of her multipliers. Insane damage dealer, shreds through the competition, extremely easy to use, and comes with the prestige of being a Arcsuit Sync pair. Moving on to the Golden Signature Steven Award for the most valuable tech sync pair, because I opted to not remove the overlay. We've got in third place, just straight moving on. Go ahead, whatever. I messed it up, but that's okay. Arc Suit Leon and Charizard, winning 13.3% of the votes total. If you do not count Arc Suit sync pairs, Dahlia and Ludicolo would have came in next with 7.8% of the votes. Just wanted to mention, but Arc Suit Leon here with his amazing utility and damage, mostly the damage, but he's able to set Fire type rebuff, apply Fire damage field, as well as burn the enemy, which is great utility on its own, as well as sync countdown on his max move, also very, very good as well. But of course the damage is the big aspect of this guy, being able to expand the damage of his sync move and max move to all enemies because of his passive in his base kit, as well as also being able to buff his special and sync move up next for extra damage, on top of his extremely strong in base power buddy move, having around 800 base power at maximum investment. So Arc Suit Leon, of course, is amazing damage, and his overall tech role is what put him in the spot, despite not having too many disruption-based abilities, or I guess tech-based utilities, but he nevertheless won this spot with the third place award. For the Silver Trophy, the second place award, we've got Arc Suit Lance and Dragonite winning out 21% of the votes with their amazing abilities as well. Similar to Leon in being very damage-oriented, but Lance has a lot of good utility on him as well, being able to paralyze and flinch with a passive in his grid, debuff both defenses to from +0 to -6 instantaneously with his Hyper Beam and Giga Impact moves, and also having one of the single best damage dealing buddy moves in the game with his Hyper Beam buddy move, being able to do damage that is comparable to Ash's Thunderbolt. Haven't seen numbers ever since pretty much Ash's release, which is amazing. So of course Lance is obviously making the spot, and of course being an Arc Suit sync pair, being able to lower enemy dragon rebuff, is able to buff all allies' dragon damage, and that is of course an extremely great aspect as well. So of course he's going to win the second place award. Winning the first place gold award, to my surprise personally, was Neo Champion Cheren and Tornadus. I expected an easy sweep for Lance, I will be honest, but Champion Cheren easily beat out both Leon and Lance combined, even at a combined total of 38.2% votes given just to him. That's 132 votes. Champion Cheren's got amazing damage as well, with both of his Bleak Wind Storm moves being able to do a ton of amazing AoE damage, with his buddy Bleak Wind Storm being able to apply flying rebuff to the enemy and debuff speed, not only activating his multipliers, but potential multipliers of allies, and also slowing down enemy gauge. He's also able to use good fly utility, which can be buffed by by physical moves next in his passive, which he's able to stack up by using every single turn, which is amazing. He's also able to apply endurance to himself, and again, that fly utility is also nice. So despite not having too many tech utilities, because he really is a very damage-oriented unit, he's managed to make himself #1 on this spot. I guess people really just like damage, and that is completely fair. So Champion Cheren, yeah, congratulations on your well-earned spot, and Arc Suit Lance and Leon as well. Congratulations. So yes, let's move on to the next award here afterwards. Moving on to the Golden Skyla and Swanna Award for support sync pairs, of course, with their amazing supportive abilities. Coming in third place, we've got Chase and Pikachu, winning about 3.9% of the votes, I believe. 3.8%, rather, sorry. Chase's amazing supportive utility for special characters, especially of the Kanto region, with his Kanto Circle being able to apply amazing buffs, making him one of the best sync pairs to buff the Neo Champion, specifically Neo Champion Red and Ash being two of his best supportive candidates, especially with how strong they still are. He's also, of course, got special moves up next buff, Sync Countdown, Paralysis, and again, that Kanto Circle being amazing abilities for him. He's got many other things as well, like Speed, Evasion, and Healing, but those are the best abilities that he's able to do to provide support to the team quickly and mostly in his base kit. Extremely good abilities from Chase. Of course, winning him that third spot was obviously, they were good for that. Coming in second place was Rika and Clodsire with 4.9% of votes. You'll understand why these numbers are so low once we get to the top spot, of course, right? I'm sure most of you already expect it. But Rika and Clodsire is a great mixed support character, being able to buff both offenses, both defenses, as well as provide poison and physical and special moves up next buff, as well as being able to heal up with her Synchro Healing Lucky skill, as well as Team Triage Tank 9, giving you great healing whenever you are getting hit. And she's great at taking hits, of course, being a supportive character. And she does lean into that ground roll quite a bit, being able to set ground zone twice, 3 times with her Super Awakening coming on New Year's Day. So Rika made herself a good name for herself with this second place spot, and that Team Trash Tank ability kind of led into the #1 spot. At nobody's surprise, Arcsuit Steven and Metagross. His amazing supportive abilities can pretty much be matched by no one in the game. He's got flinches, potions, amazing natural bulk, amazing ability to debuff enemy defenses, buff ally defenses, debuff enemy offenses, AoE for the most part at that. Again, those potions and flinches as well. The team trash tank providing healing to the team passively, and being an Arcsuit sync pair, being able to lower enemy rebuff. That is amazing for those steel type damage dealers, of course. And well, there's just not much else to say. Arcsuit Steven is absolutely insane and should not be underestimated when it comes to being, well, just a great overall sync pair. He is one of the best supports in the game, pretty much bar none. And there's so much to say. He won with 76% of votes. I don't think we've seen a ratio that what would you even call that? A ratio that skewed in this entire voting session. So that was absolutely nuts. Congratulations, Arcsuit Steven, Rika, and Chase. Moving on to the Holiday Whitney Award, we've got ourselves the best field sync pairs, most valuable field sync pairs. Coming in at third place, we've got Summer Gardenia and Delmise, a personal favorite of mine to win this award. She's able to set 2 types of zone with Steel Zone and Ghost Zone, though she really leans into the Ghost Zone ability. She's able to set it extremely effectively as well, being able to set it 3 times without trying to move NPR, and as well as one of those times being extended from the field EX roll, and on top of that giving the support the field regular roll, not EX roll, with the support EX roll as well, also giving extra utility on that sync move. Pretty good spread damage as well, being able to also debuff enemy offenses, it's just a great utility on its own, and enemy special defense with her Metal Sound trainer move, also extremely good, right? She's also able to buff random stats for all allies whenever she sets a zone. Again, she's got 4 instances of a zone and is able to provide really good buffs to those ghost type characters like Renegade Cynthia, Costume Eriott, and others, right? So if she wins that 3rd place spot with how many votes, I don't remember, 5.2%, 18 overall votes. So congratulations, Summer Gardenia and Delmise. Coming in at 2nd place was Special Costume Celine and Scizor, winning 9% flat votes with 31 total votes. This character's got amazing utility of being able to set Steel Zone. I'm sure a lot of people may have voted for this character because of Arcsuit Steven's amazing utility and overall just amazing prowess, right? I'm sure that was a big buff for her, being able to buff her damage as well as having her own zone buff buff damage for herself, Steven, and any other Steel type allies you put on the team, which you realistically were if you were running them together, right? She's basically setting Steel Zone that never ends. She's got Steel Wish NPR, as well as having the field roll, giving her that Steel Zone on top of extension, which she also has even more extension in her grid. So she's got the ability to set Steel Zone pretty much infinitely, and her amazing utility with her buddy move, be able to infinitely flinch lock opponents. That is extremely good tech, which is amazing in the Legendary Gauntlet, amazing in Ultimate Battles, amazing basically anywhere that does not have flinch immunity, right? Which is a few Ultimate Battle stages, but really not that many for it to really make too much of a difference. So congratulations, Celine and Scizor. You won that number 2 spot. That flinch utility and that infinite Steel Zone on top of the amazing Arcsuit Steven is really propelling her value to immense heights. And coming in at number 1 was Geeta and Glamora, winning 57.5% of votes, which is 199 votes total. This character, of course, was the 4.5 anniversary headliner alongside Champion Silver and Tyranitar, being able to set Poison Zone 3 times with 2 uses of her amazingly strong buddy move, also being able to debuff defenses with it, and poison with all of her moves pretty much for the most part, and also provide different debuffs with that as well, just among other things. Having Rock Slide utility, flinching for that as well. She's overall able to provide amazing buffs to the team with Poison Zone, as well as amazing damage herself, and her master passive being our first Paldean Master Fair. So great damage, great zone, great utility. Geeta, of course, is able to provide so much to the team, and that's why she wins the number 1 spot with the Golden Signasuit Whitney Award. It's not Signasuit, Holiday Whitney Award, sorry, for that number 1 spot with the best field sync pair. Moving on to the Golden Lear Award for the sprint roll, we've got ourselves just moving on into 3rd place, Holiday Lily and Shiny Primarina, winning 11.8% of votes. This character's got amazing sprint functionality with her sync acceleration, of course, on the sync move -3 because of that, and on her buddy move, which has 3 uses, which is extremely high powered, by the way, as well as having the effect of being able to apply super effective next to all allies every time it is used, giving it great utility on top of good damage, which is boosted by Hit the Gas 9, making her extremely strong of a damage dealer and not just a utility-focused sync pair. That utility, though, with her sync spam as well, being able to provide great usage to her in the damage challenge and the legendary arenas, gives Lily a pretty good spot here at 3rd place ranking for this award. So being able to do a lot of good utility as well as good damage, of course, is going to make her an appealing character overall, especially being recent and a popular, fan favorite. It's obviously going to bump her rating up quite a bit. Moving on to the 2nd place, the Silver Award, we've got Anniversary Lily, further selling that popular character theory. She won 26% of votes. It makes perfect sense for her to be here, especially because every person who played since the 5th anniversary should have her within their box, and, well, she's just an amazing character. She's an amazing free sync pair. Being able to have the first ever buddy move, as well as the first free character, not first buddy move, but the first free buddy move, as well as the first free character to have the sprint field functionality, which obviously just made her an amazing, eye candy for people to look at these traits that were previously limited to limited units, and, well, see that a free character now actually is able to do them. Also being a change of outfit from the 2021 Anniversary Lily, or a palette swap rather, to match Solgaleo, was pretty nice as well. A free outfit, even if it was kind of a reuse. A lot of people ended up liking that as well. She's got great strengths, being able to set Steel Zone, apply Sync Countdown, of course, on her Sync move with the Sprint roll, and have that Field DX roll, being able to set Steel Zone, buffing herself, and as well as potential partners like Arc Suit Steven, Special Costume Celine, or Signa Suit Lear in the process, and of course that just gave her great functionality to be number 2 and win the silver trophy here. Amazing sync pair, of course, makes perfect sense, good damage output, good utility, very, very nice, especially for being free and a character that everyone has. Moving on to 1st place for the Sprint Award, the Signa Suit, not Signa Suit Lear, but, well, spoiler, Signa Suit Lear did end up winning it. He won his own trophy, as well as being the golden character, technically. There's a lot of irony within this guy's placement here, of course. It makes sense, though. He won 44.8% of votes, 155 total votes, because of his amazing functionalities. Not necessarily for his sprint function, but kind of in the process, he does have that as well. He does -1 sync countdown on using every trainer move he has, which he's got 3 uses of, and if you do pick up Sync Burst, then he's got 5 uses. That's a lot of sync countdown, especially because of his main EX functionality of being able to do that sprint roll function for a -3 sync countdown. He also is able to provide one of his best abilities, the 60%, up to 60% support to the team, and that does not even begin to include the fact that he's got the Pasio Circle, which can provide extra buffs to the whole team, as well as his Master Pass of providing extra damage. This guy provides so much support to any character you bring him with, that is probably the main reason he won this award, is because he is extremely good at enhancing literally everybody you place him with, and of course being an amazing character on the team himself with great damage on his Make It Rain move and Make It Rain buddy move, and, well, Make It Rain sync move. Good sync damage, good DPS, amazing supportive ability for the team. That is why he's able to win his own award, the Golden Lear Award. Moving on to the most valuable PokeFair, we've got the Golden Lance Award, of course, representing that. Again, this is kind of the same criteria as the previous role awards, but these are related to their banner type, method of obtainability, and not necessarily their role. So a little bit more variety here. Winning 3rd place for the PokeFair Award is Iono and Bellybolt. Great supportive PokeFair character here, also an extremely popular character releasing back in January. This character is able to provide a ton of special moves up next, buffs to the team, infinite free moves next to the team, as well as provide damage of her own, being able to do good damage on her sync move and her buddy move because of her naturally high offensive stat, as well as being able to provide, work pretty well under the support of Neo Champion Blue, with his electric rebuff being able to directly power her up, and if you wanted to run a double support setup, well, Iono is good for that. She's also got Potion Healing, Eerie Impulse for special attack debuffs, and again, good paralysis flinching and damage off of that great buddy move. So Iono, of course, won here because of her amazing ability as a support sync pair that can also act as a hybrid damage dealer, pretty much like what you would expect of a tech, except just more like a miniature Arc Suit Steven, I guess, also in a special form. And coming in for 2nd place is Rika and Clodsire. Rika and Clodsire won 26% of the votes, 12.7% of the votes total. This is a lot more split of a poll than it was for a lot of the roles, because a lot of those did include Arc Suit and Master Fair sync pairs, but this one was quite a bit more evenly split, with Iono actually winning 7.2% of the votes, and again, Rika here winning 12.7%. We already stated most of Rika's good traits, and those good traits were able to actually bring her to the PokeFair level. That ground zone, that mixed supportive ability, naturally good bulk, team trash, tank are great abilities, and of course, again, that won her the silver trophy in this sense, where I think, what did she make on the support? Was it silver again? Yeah, she ended up making silver again on there. So a good second place finisher in 2 separate awards. Congratulations, Rika and Clodsire. And coming in at first place, Chase and Pikachu, where he could not quite win out in support. And he actually did not opt to beat out Rika in that same award either. I guess just goes to show how skewed the results were because of the existence of ArcSuit Steven. Chase did end up actually taking the Golden Award for the PokeFair category, being able to do, again, all of his amazing supportive utility, which was amazing for buffing some of the best characters at the time, and well, still, right now, obviously the Neo Champion Kanto characters, Ash, and ArcSuit Lance even as well, with his buddy move being able to do extremely good damage with Chase's support, especially being able to buff that special moves next for that buddy move while Lance is able to actually use Giga Impact. You can stack up special moves next buffs with Chase and provide that Kanto circle, and well, all of Lance's special attacks afterwards are going to be doing immense damage, and that same concept applies for the most part to Champion Red and Ash as well. Very, very good damage increase and very, very good sync ramping with his sprint functionality. So of course Chase took the #1 spot this time, the Golden Lance Award, instead of taking the bronze trophy with the support category. So congratulations, Chase. It's a pretty big glow up, and well, he actually made out with the gold, so very, very nice. Moving on to the Ash Award, the Golden Ash Award, I guess, for Master Fair. This does include art fairs as well, so just mentally brace, I suppose. Coming in at third place, we have Signasuit Lear. Again, his amazing supportive ability and damage is what puts him here on these spots. It's just that he sadly was not able to hold a candle to Arc Fairs, which do take up the last 2 spots. Number 2 being ArcSuit Cynthia and Garchomp. Again, that amazing damage output, pretty much unrivaled in the game, is what really puts her in this big spot, being able to enhance other ground types as well with rebuff and zone, effectively double dipping in what she's able to provide to the team. And that amazing ludicrous damage output, just being able to enhance allies and do amazing damage of her own, is a great reason for her to take number 2 for the Master/Arc Fair Award. And again, if you don't want to include Arc Fairs in this, I can go ahead and take a look at who would win instead. The next highest spot was actually Gita and Glamora, so I guess she technically would have taken second place, where Lear would have taken first, and the one after that was Champion Silver and Tyranitar. So Champion Silver has been bummed out of 2 awards so far, simply because of the existence of these Arc Suits. But again, I do think it is reasonable to include ArcSuit Sync pairs, simply because if I did not, other Master Fair Sync pairs would have simply taken their reward, or their prestigious spot rather, and well, I mean, who cares at that point? It's just where these characters end up ranking so far down. There's obviously not going to be too much variety, just because all the characters are Master Fairs or Arc Fairs. It doesn't matter if I replace the Arc Fairs or not. It's still going to be taken up with Master Fairs. The little tangent aside, winning number 1, of course, we got ourselves ArcSuit Steven. Yeah, I don't think I need to explain why this guy won again. He's just that good. His support is amazing. He's able to carry pretty much any character to victory. One of his biggest traits, or funniest traits, I guess, being the fact that he can carry literally any sync pair through Lucy's ultimate battle for the most part, as he can keep them alive so they can provide a little bit of sync countdown to the team, being able to use their moves, and ArcSuit Steven can, for the most part, handle the damage, the utility, and overall just surviving for the most part. So it's very funny to see how ArcSuit Steven actually manages to carry characters in pretty much any content he is with. So that's why he won the Ash Award here, being able to be such an amazing and ludicrously strong character. ArcSuit Sync pairs are absolutely nuts. And again, if you do not consider these ArcSuit Sync pairs to be legitimate, characters to be put up here, Signasuit Lear would have won, Gita and Glamora would have came in second, and Champion Silver and Tyranitar would have came in third. Just replacing the ArcSuits with Master Fairs is not really that interesting in my opinion, but hey, it happens. Moving on to the Palatine's Dawn Award for the most valuable seasonals. We're going to see quite a bit of variety in this one, at least a little bit, though I will say that there is a dupe. Coming in at third place is Costume Celine. That is the dupe I was talking about. Celine comes back again here to make herself known. I'm pretty sure we might actually end up having another dupe, but we'll talk about that later. It's okay. Costume Celine, again, with her amazing flinch utility, Steel Zone setting, alongside ArcSuit Steven's Steel rebuff, she's able to, again, bring herself in a pretty respectable position here, being in third because of her amazing ability to do all of those things. So congratulations, Celine, you won yourself another award. Coming in second place was Special Costume Eriott and Hisuian Zoroark. This is an extremely strong damage dealing sync pair, released back during the 4.5 anniversary, alongside Special Costume Adamant, and well, she simply kind of left a pretty big gap between the two because her damage is just so much better, so much stronger. She provided a good spot for Ghost as well, because Ghost was not necessarily the best type, I guess at the time, but well, she was able to really fill that gap extremely well, as well as getting buffs with the release of Renegade Cynthia's EX role, as well as the release of Summer Gardenia later in the year. She was able to propel her damage even more, and has amazing multipliers like Smarty Pants to just help her out even more, special moves, next buffs, ludicrously strong buddy moves that rival for the most part a lot of other strong buddy moves in the game, potentially of Master Fairs. And well, that puts her at number 2 here. Just despite being a seasonal sync pair, she has amazing damage and is overall one of the best damage dealing characters still in the game, which is amazing to see. And coming in at first place for the seasonal award is Holiday Lily again. Yes, Holiday Lily this time, instead of coming in at the 3rd place spot for the Sprint Award, well, she ended up getting 1st place. Again, that amazing utility for the damage challenge in Legendary Arenas, that amazing damage for any game mode, is just really, really what helps her so much to become number 1 in this spot. Super effective next, Sync Countdown, great damage, pretty good debuffs, Disruption with Sing. What else do you need? This character really provides it, and that ended up getting her number 1 here. So congratulations to Holiday Lily. Moving on to the Ball Guy Award. This is a new award for the most valuable variety sync pairs, which I did not opt to include last year. I do not remember why, but this is where we actually did opt to include them this time. So coming in at 3rd place was Variety Marnie and Cinderace. This character is able to set the Galar defensive circle, as well as Sun 4 times. Be able to be released alongside Arcsuit Leon, and in an era where Champion Leaf also exists, there's basically infinite Sun this girl is able to provide, as well as infinite support that she is able to receive with those partners that were just previously mentioned. She's one of the best characters for the Fire Ranked Damage Challenge that had just released around the time of her and Arcsuit Leon's release, and she's able to support the team extremely well with her defensive circle, Sun, as well as buffing team physical and special moves next, and be able to do good damage of her own on her buddy moves. So she provides very, very good strength to the team, especially for fire types specifically. So congratulations, Marnie, on taking the 3rd place spot there. 2nd place was Mix, Leaf, and Blastoise. I did opt to include the Mix Scout units on this as well, because their kits are very similar to Damage Challenge Variety Sync pairs. If you want to look at the Galar Variety Trio and take a look at the Variety Kanto Trio, you will probably see a pretty big similarity in their overall kits. Just wanted to mention that. But yeah, Mix Scout Leaf took the 2nd place spot here. She's got great utility, similar to that of Mix Blue and Mix Red, but she's got her own ability to heal with potions, decent defensive utility with her Trainer move, a little bit of healing, and mostly with those potions, and good debuffing with her buddy move, which is able to do good AoE water damage, and set rain, of course, off of her max move and sync move, which is really what probably made her the 2nd best option here, because she was really, really good for handling Annabelle's ultimate battle. That was one big part of her that it was really, really helpful, especially just for pretty much picking her off of a scout that has every sync pair in the game. If you are a spender, of course, this was good for you. And coming in at number 1 was Mix Scout Blue and Charizard. I honestly expected Leaf to beat him out, and I also expected quite a few other characters to beat him out, but he ended up getting the number 1 spot. He did end up doing that, well, which is pretty good considering he's got himself really good fire partners. Again, similar to Marnie, which is also potentially one of his partners. You got Arcsuit Leon and Neo Champion Leaf, 2 of the best characters to provide buffs to fire types in the game, as well as Sigma Suit Morty, one of the single best supports in the game, as well as being a direct fire type support with Sun setting. He's able to buff or benefit rather of all those sync pairs, and he's able to do good damage himself with his spread damage buddy move, his AoE sync move because of his Striker EX role, as well as his good damaging max move, and set Sun and extended as well because of his field typing, or field role rather. So Mix Scout Blue, Mix Scout Leaf, and Variety Marnie all took the awards here for the Ball Guy Award, the first Variety Scout Award I actually introduced here. So this is again a new award, so very, very cool to see. Moving on to the, not Holiday Bugsy, Event Bugsy Award for the best free sync pairs. I did end up making a little bit of a mistake with this one. I did want to mention that, but we will go into it in a little bit. And I guess by going into the sync pairs, I'll end up mentioning it. At 3rd place, we did end up having Lodge, Skyla, and Unpheasant. I did make a mistake here where I accidentally called her Lodge, Skyla, and Swanna in the poll. I feel that shouldn't have skewed anything because people should have known I was mentioning Unpheasant, or meaning to mention Unpheasant, simply because obviously Swanna is not a 2024 sync pair. She is a debut sync pair. I did want to mention that it is Unpheasant. It is also a female Unpheasant, so I don't know. I think isn't it female? I might have to look that up. Anyway, Unfezant, Launch Skyline Unfezant is the best flying type free damage dealer in the game, which is insanely nuts to think about, beating out even the likes of Anniversary Steven in overall damage per second, especially with their amazing buffs that physical sync pairs received this year. Well, her damage is probably now even more insane than it was back on release, especially with the release of characters like Champion Sharon and the release of Anniversary Skyla's Super Awakening. There's even more buffs to this character that it makes her look even stronger. Very simple to use damage dealer, and well, very, very effective. Again, where I made that little mistake with calling her Skyline Swanna potentially influencing votes, I did want to mention that Morgan had the second highest votes at overall, I think 2.9%, 10 total votes. She with her, again, her Virizion. So she was able to do amazing support. She was the new BP character of the 5th anniversary, be able to provide good mixed enhancement as well as good gauge in potion recovery with her different skills that she has in her grid, mostly recharging and restoring strike, and again, having potions and protect as well was able to provide good defensive utility for her. And well, that's why I'm putting her in for the 3rd place spot here, even though she's technically 4th place. But if I did make that mistake with Skyla, then I just wanted to kind of remedy it a little bit, so you can kind of alternate that how you wanted to. I did opt to leave Skyla here for the 2nd place spot, which was Riley and Lucario, taking a resounding, how many votes was it? It was a lot, 11.8% votes Riley did end up taking, and I did say that there was no more votes that were super skewed like the one for the best support character, where Arcsuit Steven basically won out pretty much scot-free. I kind of lied. This one is kind of like that. Riley and Lucario, though, they do great damage with their mixed fighting and steel moves, fighting sync move. Of course, he was the first free sprint character. Again, being a free character does, obviously help him out quite a bit and getting a little bit of spotlight so people can actually see his abilities extremely well, which is, well, why they consider him one of the best free sync pairs, because he was extremely strong. Great utility with being able to buff speed as well, provide great sync countdown off using his max move and sync move, and, well, providing the sprint functionalities extremely well. And well, here's our skewed result. 1st place, to no one's surprise probably, is the free Anniversary Lily again, with Solgaleo taking another reward here. This time the 1st place award for the best free sync pair. Again, that amazing steals and setting utility, the having a free buddy move, the new outfit, of course, and all those abilities just probably being released during the 5th anniversary helped as well, with her actually being on the spotlight a little bit more than a lot of these other free sync pairs. Well, she's just still really good. Good damage, and overall good utility as well, giving her that 1st place spot. And again, here's what it looks like with Morgan, if you do think that should be how it is instead, if I did make a little bit too much of a mistake with Skyla and Unfezant. So that's just how just wanted to make the point there. Moving on to the most valuable egg sync pair with the Gyarados award here. There's not too many egg sync pairs released this year. There's actually only 4 new Pokemon released with egg sync pairs, and of course those have their 3 different roles. But coming in at 3rd place was Tech Hypno. Tech Hypno himself here has great utility, such as being able to provide sleep with hypnosis being the biggest thing for him. A sleep spammer is always really, really good, providing good usage in the gauntlet. That's where most of these eggs gain their real usage, is in the legendary gauntlet, though most of the time last year the Eevees ended up winning just because they were actually able to provide free zone. But this time these characters are mostly back to how they normally were in terms of quality, and well, Hypno here, being able to provide good sleep with his speed buffing, his defensive buffing, as well as providing gradual healing to himself, which not only is providing good healing, but also is able to provide some secondary effects to help chain sleep, as well as having innate Troublemaker 1, and Aggravation 2 on Psybeam, if you do want to do a little bit of confusion stuff, I guess. Well, Hypno was able to take the 3rd spot, so congratulations Hypno, Tech Hypno, for your win there. Moving on, we do have Tech Butterfree taking the number 2 spot. Pretty sure Tech Butterfree is also pretty much a hypnosis sync pair. Well, sleep powder rather, because it is a sleeper, just does not learn hypnosis. And for the most part, it wins in a similar regard to Hypno, where it's able to buff its defenses a little bit, provide good sleep with sleep powder. You can run Troublemaker as a lucky skill, but it's also got pinpoint entry if you again want to opt to run that, and a few other things as well. But for the most part, again, just a sleeping character, and that's why it takes the number 2 spot here, because of those good tech sleeping abilities. And number 1 is Support Butterfree. So Butterfree ended up taking both spots here, number 1 and 2, where it's actually got itself the ability to buff defensive stats. It's able to buff defense and also speed as well, defense by 6 and speed by 2. It's also got Struggle Bug, being able to debuff special attack AoE, so it can actually handle both defensive stats in some regard. Having First Aid 2 and Natural Remedy as well, preventing it from taking, well, I guess, too much damage, but also being able to heal up that damage, and Natural Remedy being able to prevent status conditions on it those first times. Gives it a little bit of good utility as well if you don't want to run the sleeper, maybe potentially on a stage that has sleep immunity. Obviously, again, these egg sync pairs not bad at all, but I think definitely a lot of people might have just kind of voted at random, even though I do think that the results were good. I honestly think, in my personal opinion, just mentioning it, I think Tech Butterfree might be a little bit better than Support Butterfree, but for the most part, I mean, this is really just this is how it was. The votes were pretty fair enough too, but they were very, very split simply because I don't think a lot of people ended up using a lot of the egg mods this year. Egg mods this year were decent, but honestly, at least in my personal opinion, nothing really too crazy to write home about. Tech Hypno did take 15% of the votes, Tech Butterfree took 17.3% of the votes, and Support Butterfree took 18.5% of the votes. So there was a good deal of close range between them. So really, it was anybody's game to take these spots, and honestly, you probably could interchange them for the most part and get similar results. So there was the free egg sync pair, or just the egg sync pairs, I guess, taking the Golden Gyarados Award. So congratulations to the Butterfrees and the Hypno. Nice. Another new award here is the Special Costume Guzma Award for the character with the funniest gimmick, or I guess most fun gimmick is a better way to add. A character that not necessarily has amazing strengths or whatever, but is able to actually just provide a fun usability to them because of what they're able to do, but again, not necessarily related to their strengths or their main abilities, but just kind of how they play, being super fun. Coming in third place was Iono and Bellybolt. The main gimmick of this character is the fact that she's a support that can do damage. That's obviously one of the biggest and funniest things, is that she can support the team extremely well, but also actually provide damage of her own, and the way she provides damage is actually pretty fun as well, being able to buff her special moves next by at least +3, but at maximum of +10, and launch an extremely high-powered buddy move. You can time this however you want, because she can keep spamming Eerie Impulse if she wants to, and you can max out special moves next in order to do a ton of damage, a variable amount of damage, I guess, between, again, +3 or +10, anywhere in between. And while that kind of makes sense why she's able to win the most fun gimmick, because, again, timing that buddy move to be extremely strong, or strong, respectable damage, but in multiple bursts, is a pretty fun way to play her. Coming in number 2 was Volo and Togepi, a character that doesn't necessarily have one big gimmick, but a big culmination of gimmicks inside him that is resulting in a character that is more of a jack of all trades. Be able to do a ton of debuffing, a ton of field setting with his Fairy Zone, as well as his Sinnoh Circle, as well as provide decent supportive ability because of mostly that defensive circle, but also damage reduction abilities, as well as being able to provide offensive and crit buffs to his teammates with his Field Trainer move, being able to buff ally offenses by +4 and crit by +3, or of course you could select himself as well if you wanted to. And well, Volo's supportive ability as a field sync pair, and overall debuffing ability, and again, jack of all trades type of nature, with Metronome as his main form of damage, which could provide, of course, good effects on its own with physical and special moves next buffs, is what won him the number 2 spot here for the most fun gimmick, because, well, he is very, very gimmicky naturally. And taking the number 1 spot was Volo's best friend on release, Jacques. Jacques and Farigiraf actually took the number 1 spot here. Congratulations to them. Their fun gimmick is being able to actually use their buddy move pretty much whenever they have anything above 10 buffs. He's able to buff his stats at random upon using Twin Beam, which can be buffed even more when using his berries, and he's able to actually use a buddy move once he reaches 10 buffs that is stronger the more buffs he actually has, which you can depend on however you wanted to use it. You could use it at a low level of investment buffs for consistent good damage, or you could try to go for maximum buffs and do one super strong stored power, and well, that is pretty much what got him the number 1 spot here. He has a very fun gimmick where you can be pretty versatile in how much damage he can do and how often he can do it, and you can pretty much control it yourself without having to worry about any other factor kind of playing you wrong. And well, Jacques took the number 1 spot here. Congratulations, Jacques. Very, very fun gimmick, probably among other things. Moving on to the Best Upgrade Award. Yet another new award here is the Signasuit Blue Award, again, for the Best Upgrade. A character that received a buff in 2024 that is not necessarily a 2024 sync pair, but again, got a super good buff in some form. This does not include Lucky Skills, so Ripfall Caitlyn. Coming in at 3rd place was Signasuit Hilbert and Genesect with their EX roll and Super Awakening. I think it's less so for their Super Awakening, even though it does provide good stat buffs, but more his EX roll that mattered for him. Taking his already very solid bug nuke to AoE damage was extremely good for obviously increasing damage overall, but extremely good for the release of the damage challenge, making him extremely pretty much the best option for bug 3v3 and bug 3v1, which is extremely funny to think about. That EX roll really did him good justice, giving him good offensive stats, and the Super Awakening as well, giving him good offensive stats as well, was extremely helpful, and it makes sense that he's able to take the third place spot here for the best upgrade. Second place was Signasuit Steven and Deoxys, another Super Awakening and EX Roll sync pair this year for 9.2% of the votes, and also this was his first rerun this year, his first free rerun, rather, I should mention, and he, well, is really good. Again, I don't think his Super Awakening necessarily won him out here, especially because it hasn't even released. I don't think it's even released yet. No, it hasn't even released. I actually mentioned it without even thinking that it released. He did get the 5 out of 5, though, which is good for him, but this actually ended up being pretty much the support EX roll that took him to this level, which is an amazing buff for him. That support EX roll was great on every single form he had, the defense form, attack form, and speed form, and the normal form as well. Having support was really, really good for all of them. The bulk for the strike form was very, very nice, honestly, unconditionally. And well, he was still a really, really strong sync pair. Still is, right? A really, really strong sync pair. And getting that support EX roll really helped him out. And those fair tiles for potential debuffing and whatnot, and a few other things that he gained in it was extremely helpful too. So he got the second place spot here for those different abilities gained from the EX roll and the 5 out of 5 tiles. And at first place spot, I know somebody specifically who's going to be really happy about this one. Diantha and Gardevoir ended up winning with her EX roll and Super Awakening. Her EX roll was not that great in my opinion on release. Being tech, support would have been better for her because she does want to Mega Evolve, but her Sync Nuke's not really that great. But well, with the addition of her Super Awakening, well, her EX roll gained a lot more value because she gained special moves up next, sync move up next, and extra multipliers. Well, yeah, and extra stats on top of it. Diantha ended up taking the #1 spot here because she basically went from being a very mediocre fairy-type striker to being one of the best fairy-type strikers, pretty much only second to Signasuit Gladion and actual Master Fair. Level of investment does suck, of course, with 10 out of 10 Super Awakening status, but the reward is pretty much worth it when you consider just how much strength Diantha gained, especially if you are a Diantha or a Gardevoir fan. Hint, hint. Okay, moving on to the next award, new character, Cynthia. Of course, she takes the award for, or not, she is the award for this, the Golden Cynthia Award. We got ourselves some more additions to the roster this year. Many new characters, a lot. A lot of Hisuians and Paldeans, as well as a few others like Chase to be sprinkled in there, as well as Dexiocina, Clara Avery. But in the third place spot was Iono, of course. Iono had single-handedly, for the most part, carried the January finances, I guess, the revenue for that month was pretty much carried by Iono alone. She's able to provide a lot of good strength in her kit, but being an extremely popular character in both the West and the JP regions, of course, was really, really good. Really, really good for the game, gave a lot of money, and of course, you know, the revenue kind of speaks for itself with how popular Iono is, with her being one of the first revealed characters in Scarlet and Violet. She took herself the #1 spot, or the #3 spot here. I mean, it made perfect sense to me. I don't think much else needs to be said about Iono. I think everyone's seen her popularity be kind of just posted online, potentially on, you know, TCG merch and stuff like that, and Iono's just got really good popularity. Second place was actually Larry, another Paldea character. This character was really, really loved for his pretty much just neutral nature on basically everything. He just wanted to live his life as a normal businessman, and that's just an aspect of the character we've never really seen in this game before, this franchise. And while it was funny to see most as a gag, but also potentially as a realistic scene to kind of be happy with, I guess, what you have, even if it's not the most eventful life, it is still a good life to live, I guess, in the sense. You know, Larry was able to bring that as a character, and overall be very, very fun to actually obtain in the game, and also just be a nice, interesting character, even despite being a very, very normal person as he is intended to be. And winning the first place spot to pretty much, I'm going to guess nobody's surprise, Volo. Yeah, Volo ended up winning the first place spot for the best new character favorite new character, rather, to come into the game. What can you say? This guy single-handedly brought the entire story to its knees, being able to potentially awaken an Arc Suit in the future, we'll see, or potentially subjugate Arceus, you never know. An extremely popular character from Legends Arceus, and Cynthia's ancestor gives him a lot of points. So let's just be honest with ourselves here, that's one of the bigger factors. And while he's actually in the game now, people have been anticipating this guy since the release of Legends Arceus, and the release of Renegade Cynthia went along pretty much alongside the release of Legends Arceus, and well, we finally got got him with Togepi. You can say what you want about his kit, about his release, whatever, but you cannot deny that he is one of the most popular characters, and definitely what people are going to be predicting for future anniversaries, whether it be the 5.5, the 6th anniversary, 7th anniversary, or whatever it may be. Volo is probably going to be on people's lists for the most popular option to potentially put there alongside Giratina, or really whoever, because Volo himself can carry popularity. Alright, very nice. And to finish out the awards, we've got ourselves the favorite outfit. There's been a lot of great outfits this game releases every single year, and well, we've got ourselves the top 3 here on the new 2024 outfits. Third place, Champion Silver finally got something in terms of awards. He had been just barely scummed out of awards because of the existence of Master Fairs, but he finally did opt to actually win the third place Best Outfit award, with that nice purple and white, and whatever his EX has, I forget, honestly. I'm pretty sure there's some black in there. Very, very nice stuff. His Neo Champion outfit is pretty nice, especially because it pairs pretty well with his shiny Tyranitar's purple features, and looks very, very nice and very, very appealing to the eyes. Second place was Costume Eriott, her dancing outfit. This is very nice. Personally, not a big fan of the Minnie Mouse bow. Not really my thing, gonna be honest, just saying. But other than that, it was still a very, very, very nice outfit. And obviously partnered very well with her Hisuian Zoroark with its color scheme being red, and her EX making it nice and purple with that shiny Hisuian Zoroark color palette. And of course, being a popular character herself, giving her that number 2 spot here for the most popular, or new favorite outfit, I guess. And at number 1, surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, Cygnus Lear, guy who changed his entire outfit to gold, basically being a rich man, obviously, with his golden rings, as well as his nice, what do you even call that, gradient glasses, and the new hairstyle. I'm pretty sure that hairstyle is new. We can go back and take a look at the Sprint Lear award here, and you can see how Lear actually kind of... What the hell, Lear? Nice hairstyle, man. He changed it up a little bit for us. Not too much, but definitely enough to notice. And while he took the number 1 spot here, he just looks like a casual rich man. It's very funny. And that's not to go with the new Cygnus Giovanni that's coming out soon, who will be in next year's awards. Even though he's technically releasing in the 31st for most of the world, he is releasing on New Year's in Japan, so I'm still going to consider him to be a 2025 sync pair. So I'm not going to append this list to account for the fact that he technically is releasing in 2024, but whatever. Anyway, yeah, so there are all the awards for the most part. I mean, that's pretty much it. Not much else to say about it. Yeah, let me know what you think about the Pokemon Masters EX Awards 2024. I know I didn't really word things very well, and I did not go off of a script, but honestly, kind of glad that I didn't, because it was taking forever to write, and it's already really hot in this room, so that has been really killing me. It is actually boiling. It is winter. Why is it this hot? But yeah, so congratulations, of course, to all of the characters that won these different awards. There are, of course, a lot of good ones given out. My personal favorite, I honestly really love to see, Sludge Skyla squeaking in that free win, that free-to-play character win. That was very, very funny to me, honestly. I did not expect her to take in that spot. Oops. I went through too many different slides. There's the poll if you all wanted to see. If you all wanted to think I'm like skewing these results, here's the poll, I guess. Cool. I did record this entire thing in OBS with overlays. That's all these are, is just different overlays with different like view restrictions. So that's how I did that. That was just very easy for me. But yeah, a few mistakes I made. I accidentally called Neo Champion Lear Cygnus Lear for a lot of this. It didn't really end up changing the amount of votes on him, but just did want to mention that. It didn't really skew anything. But yeah, here are the different rewards. And if you want to see my little mess up with the free sync pair here, yeah, I accidentally said Lodge, Skyla, and Swanna. Oops, it's okay. Again, thank you to all 346 people that voted. I do think there were a lot of good characters that made a very good placement in this award ceremony, I suppose. I should probably script these in the future, but that would take literally forever, because there are, how many characters? 3 characters per category, and there's like 13 questions of this thing. That would be 39 pretty much different paragraphs to go over every character in a little bit. 39 different characters, basically, and that doesn't even count the little bit of fluff I do in between, so... No thanks on the scripting. I'm good. I could last minute a lot of these things anyway, but hey, it's okay. It's okay. This is how these things go. So yeah, thank you all for voting. I hope you all enjoyed the awards. If you do have any suggestions, of course, leave them all down in the comments. I will take them into account for next year, and I thank you all for watching. And I'll see you later. Peace.